$5, that's a coffee, that's a snack from a vending machine. That's the tip you leave without thinking twice at a restaurant. Now what if I told you that same $5 invested every single day starting at age 22 could quietly turn into something that most people will never see in their entire working lives? Not because of some secret trick, not because of luck, but because of a force so powerful that Albert Einstein allegedly called it the eighth wonder of the world. And here's the part that will mess with your head a little. The people who end up with the most money at the end, they didn't start with the most money, they just started earliest. Here's the money belief that almost everyone carries around without questioning it. I'll start investing when I have more money. Sound familiar? Maybe you've said it yourself. Most people have. The logic feels completely reasonable on the surface. You're 22, maybe 24, you're paying rent, you've got student loans, you're building life. $5 feels like nothing, why bother? So you wait until you get a raise, you wait until the debt is paid off, you wait until you feel ready. And while you wait, something devastating happens quietly, invisibly, without making a single sound. Time slips away. And time, it turns out, is the most valuable ingredient in building wealth, more valuable than salary, more valuable than investment strategy, more valuable than picking the right stocks. The tragedy isn't that people don't have money to invest. The tragedy is that they have time, and they don't realize what they're sitting on. Let me show you exactly what $5 a day actually does over time. $5 a day is $150 a month, that's it, less than most people spend on subscriptions they forgot they signed up for. Now imagine you invest that $150 every month into a simple index fund, something that tracks the stock market overall, starting at age 22. Historically, the stock market has returned an average of around 10% per year over long periods. Let's use a slightly conservative number and say 8%. At 8% annual return, here's what happens. By the time you're 32, 10 years in, you've invested around $18,000 of your own money, but your account doesn't show $18,000, it shows closer to $27,000. That extra $9,000 didn't come from your pocket, it came from your money making money. By the time you're 42, 20 years in, you've put in $36,000 of your own money, but your account, it's sitting at around $88,000. More than double what you actually contributed. And then comes the part that genuinely surprises people. By the time you're 62, 40 years in, you've contributed $72,000 of your own money over your lifetime, but your account is sitting at somewhere around $530,000. You turned $72,000 into $500,000, and the majority of that wealth, over $450,000, was created without you doing a single thing. No extra work, no second job, just time and compounding doing what they do. Now here's the comparison that changes everything. Imagine your friend has the same plan, but they wait just 10 years longer. They start at 32 instead of 22, same $150 a month, same 8% return, same discipline. By age 62, they end up with around $220,000. Same money, same strategy, 10 years later. The difference, over $300,000. That's what waiting costs, not in stress, not in effort, just in starting late. So why don't more people do this? If it's this simple, why isn't everyone starting at 22? This is where human psychology becomes the real story. Our brains are wired for the present. Psychologists call it present bias. We are hardwired to value things we can experience right now more than things we'll receive in the future. The coffee you can drink today feels more real than $530,040 years from now. The future version of you, the 62-year-old who either has financial freedom or financial stress, feels like a stranger, and it's hard to sacrifice for a stranger, even when that stranger is you. There's another layer too. Small numbers feel meaningless. $5 doesn't feel like investing, it feels like rounding error. It doesn't trigger the excitement of making a real financial move, so people dismiss it. they wait for the moment they can invest $500 or $1,000 at once and feel like they're doing something significant. But here's the truth, the most significant financial decision you will ever make is not how much you invest, it's when you start. Compounding doesn't reward the person with the biggest check, it rewards the person who showed up first. Think of it like a snowball rolling down a hill. At the top, it's tiny, almost laughably small, but the longer it rolls, the more snow it picks up and the faster it grows. The people who start the snowball at the top of the hill, even with a tiny push, end up with an avalanche at the bottom. The people who wait until the middle of the hill, they're still rolling, but the snowball never gets quite big enough. So what do you actually do with this? Step 1. Stop waiting to feel ready. You will never feel ready. Readiness is a feeling, and it will always find a reason to delay. Step 2. Start with whatever you can. $5 a day is the example, but the number isn't the point. The point is the habit. The point is having money automatically going somewhere it can grow every single month without you having to think about it. Most investment apps today let you start with as little as $1. You don't need a financial advisor, you don't need a big salary. You need a direction and a start date. Step 3. Automate it and forget it. The psychological research is clear. People who automate their investing consistently outperform people who try to invest manually. Why? Because when the decision is automatic, your emotions can't interfere. You can't talk yourself out of it on a bad month. The money moves before your brain has a chance to argue. Set it up once, let time do the rest. Here's the thought I want to leave you with. 40 years from now, 2 versions of you will exist. 1. Started with $5 a day at 22 and never really missed it. The other waited until they had enough and kept waiting. The difference between those 2 versions of you isn't talent, it isn't income, it isn't luck. It's the decision you make in the next few days. The most expensive thing in personal finance isn't a bad investment, it's a delayed start. $5 every day, starting now. That's not a small decision, that's the beginning of a completely different financial life.